Sai Ram. Welcome back to Social Studies class. Children, this is part 3, the last session of chapter 1, the globe, a model of the earth. In our today's session, we are going to focus on important latitudes, marking longitudes, features of longitudes and the global grid. Before we start with our today's topics, let us focus on the topics that we covered in our last session. The two end points of the axis of rotation are called the poles. To the north is the North Pole and to the south is the South Pole. Midway between the poles is an imaginary line circling the earth. It is called the equator. It divides the earth into two equal halves called the hemispheres. To the north of the equator is the northern hemisphere and to the south is the southern hemisphere. The horizontal lines are drawn parallel to the equator and they are known as latitudes or parallels, whereas the vertical lines are drawn semicircles. Okay, the vertical lines are semicircles that run from the North Pole to the South Pole, and these lines are called as longitudes or meridians. Latitudes and longitudes are marked in degrees and minutes. The equator is marked 0 degree. The North Pole is 90 degree north and the South Pole is 90 degree south. There are 180 degrees of latitude in all. Latitudes run parallel to each other in the east-west direction. They are at an equal distance from each other. All of them form complete circles except the north and south poles, which are points. The latitudes decrease in the length as you move from the equator to the poles. Now let us start with the new topic, that is important latitudes. Children, other than the equator and poles, there are 4 other important latitudes and the names are here on the screen. Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees north. Arctic Circle at 66.5 degrees north. Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees south. And Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees south. With the help of the diagram, let us understand in a better way. Here is equator at 0 degree. In the northern hemisphere, we have Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees north. Then Arctic Circle at 66.5 degrees north. Similarly, in the southern hemisphere, we have Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees south and Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees south. I hope it is clear, children. Okay. Now, let us switch to the next topic, that is longitudes. The imaginary lines drawn vertically on the globe are called as longitudes. Now, marking longitudes. The longitude running through the Old Royal Observatory at Greenwich near London is marked 0 degree, and it is called the Greenwich meridian or the prime meridian. Now children, look at this diagram and try to understand. Like equator is the center of the earth in a horizontal way. Okay, for latitude, equator is the center. Similarly, for longitudes, okay, for longitudes, this line, that is, this line is center for the longitudes, and therefore this line passes through the Greenwich near London, and that's the reason the name of this longitude, the name of this line is given as Greenwich meridian or prime meridian. Now we know that the longitudes are semicircle, isn't it children? So this line here from North Pole to the South Pole, 0 degree longitude, is prime meridian. Okay, then what about its opposite line? Yes, this line 180 degree. What is it called children? Yes, it is called as 180 degree longitude or the international date line. Okay, I hope it is clear children. This 0 degree longitude is called as prime meridian or Greenwich meridian, and its opposite line is the 180 degree longitude or the international date line. And children, it divides the earth vertically into two hemispheres, that is eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. So there are 360 degrees of longitude, 180 degrees of longitude in east of the prime meridian and 180 degrees of longitude in west of the prime meridian. Okay, the 180 degree east and 180 degree west longitudes meet and form a single line on the opposite side of the world, which is called as 180 degree longitude or the international date line. Now let us see the features of longitudes. The lines of longitude are semicircles that run from one pole to the another pole. Okay, that means the lines of the longitudes are semicircle, as I have already told you. Okay, and these lines run from the North Pole to the South Pole. They run in north-south direction. The latitudes and longitudes cut each other at right angles, as we can see here in the image children. This is latitude and this is longitude, and they cut each other at right angles. Now let us see what is the global grid. The latitudes and the longitudes together form a network of lines or a grid on the globe. We know what latitudes and longitudes are. Okay children? So these latitudes and longitudes together make up a grid which covers the entire Earth's surface. And every point of this grid is one location. Okay, that is, every point of this grid is the location. And this is known as the global grid. Okay, so whenever you want to locate something, we accurately find the location of that thing on this globe. So this grid defines location on the entire Earth's surface. Children, here we come to the end of our chapter. Let's summarize the entire chapter. So I want even you all to read along with me. Okay? Point 1. A globe is a small model of the Earth. Point 2. The equator is an imaginary line encircling the Earth midway between the poles. It divides the Earth into two equal halves called the hemispheres. Point 3. Latitudes are horizontal lines drawn on a globe or map that go round the Earth parallel to the equator. Point 4. Longitudes are vertical lines drawn on a globe or map that run from the North Pole to the South Pole. Point 5. If we know the latitude and longitude of a place, we can locate it accurately on the global grid. So children, here we come to the end of our today's session, and we even completed with the chapter. So I want everyone to read the chapter, and at the end of the chapter there is an exercise. I want you all to do it. Okay, so do take care of yourself and goodbye.